I'm live, I'm live. Hey there, hey there, hey there, hey there. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It is a chilly, rainy Thursday. Let's turn this camera sideways a little bit here. Let's go this way with it. There we go. Rotate the device. You got it. Yeah, rotate. I guess I can't, huh? Huh, that's interesting. Well, we'll find out. Hey, I'm experimenting here. This is live TV. I can't edit. A little rainy day here for Preservation Thursday. Preservation Thursday coming to you, of course, up to the minute fraud reporting. That foreclosurepedia.org guy. Hey, and the Kim Savage girl out there in West Virginia, or Richmond, Virginia, excuse me. Folks, we got a bunch of crazy stuff going on. I want to ask everybody. I want to ask you. Think about it. Think about it now. Let's think about this for just a minute. A couple things. We're going to talk about insurance again today because of the there's something new going on out there now, and you want to be very cognizant of it because it'll increase your premiums, ladies and gentlemen. It will increase your premiums. Ooh, let me not kick my coffee over, huh? Wells Fargo, of course, they're at it again. 570,000 since 2012, ladies and gentlemen. This is how crooked Wells Fargo is. Keep in mind, I'm bringing this up because Wells Fargo Home Mortgage, I want you guys to think about this for a minute. If I was still working with the company that had Wells Fargo work, I would deny them right now for this reason. 570,000 cases basically of insurance fraud. They were selling insurance to veterans, not to me and you, not to the average Joe on the street, to veterans. To veterans. They've been repossessing their vehicles. Links are in the description to this article, ladies and gentlemen. But again, 570,000 vets, they've been bilking on insurance charges, selling them insurance they don't need. That's what the article is saying. And if it was me, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I would boycott Wells Fargo. That is what I would do. I would flat out tell Wells Fargo, go blow. Throw the work back to them. They're the ones that do the bid after the fact anyways, and cheat you out of your money after they get the work done. Pioneer Properties. Pioneer Properties. I guess they're out of Delaware, or they're licensed in Delaware. When I do a search for Pioneer Properties LLC, we did a little bit of looking around this morning. Guess what? I found a massive page of lawsuits against this company. If you're cheated out of money, if they've cheated you out of money, zlean.com. Get a hold of Scott Wolf over there. He'll get you squared away. Tell him Aaron at Alladay LLC said to get a hold of you, that he can help you out. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Zlean, Scott, he is an attorney, registered with the Bar Association, but they have people who are qualified. They're licensed to conduct business in every state in the country, all the U.S. territories, all that good stuff. They can help you out if you have a problem. You know, this is live. If somebody has a question concerning property preservation, if you're watching and you got a question about property preservation, I see this little message thing down there. I don't know. This is a new thing for me, folks. I've never done it live. I've always done it, recorded it, done a little bit of editing, chopping, because sometimes I'll space cadet sometimes, get a brain fart and all that kind of stuff. But Pioneer Properties LLC, I guess they're out of Delaware. They're a third party. They're subbing from the order mills. They're subbing the work subbed to them. Again, another problem in the industry. And I see all these people out there bragging about how, we've gone into another state. We've done this. We've done that. Are you licensed in all those states? Craigslist hack. Congratulations on having the ability to expand. And we're going to talk about that today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about growing and expand when we get to Business 101 here in a few minutes. But we got to get a couple of the things out of the way. Insurance. One of the big things right now on insurance, not just in property preservation industry, every industry, especially in construction. And of course, I'm a glazer. I've been talking to a couple of the companies here, Capital Glass. I was talking to them about this the other day. The owner over there, or not the owner, but one of the C-level employees. I guess I'm special. That makes me. But what he's telling me, and what I'm hearing from risk assessment people, you need risk assessment? Griffin Security Services, Ray Griffin Security Services out of Utah. There, guy's pretty down. He knows his stuff and he's good. He can do a little risk assessment for you. Do a little risk assessment. That's right, Griffin Security Services. You can find him, if I'm not mistaken. He's in that Kim Savage group over there on Facebook. You can find him on LinkedIn. You can find him everywhere. He's on G+, BOTG. He's over there too. But what is going on with this insurance stuff now? Because marijuana has become legal in a lot of places, not only just the marijuana, with the medical aspect of it. And of course, we know, before I go any further, designated drivers, if you do that, just because it's legal doesn't mean it's okay to drive and be bombed off your butt. I have never advocated I am totally against. You get behind the wheel of an automobile intoxicated, you got a problem. But not just as the auto insurance people looking at this, business insurance. Business insurance. It's medically okay. Now we have this other issue of drug testing. Does marijuana go by the wayside now? It's legal for recreational use. If you come to work drunk, they can get alcohol out of you, but the next day you're not going to test positive for alcohol with a hangover. They don't test you for the hangover. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work with businesses, but I do know this. It's going to affect insurance premiums. I'm going to try to be very diplomatic here in what I'm saying, because of what I'm getting ready to tell you is a form of insurance fraud. If you're stoned on a job and you get hurt, you better roll yourself underneath the truck and put some duct tape on whatever you cut open. Because if they test you, and keep in mind, any on-the-job accident for workman's comp now, it's a mandatory test. A drug test, a drug screen, a tox test, all that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind. And my advice to you, if you like to do a little reefer, you do it on your time, not your boss's. Because when you go to work, you punch a time clock, you've made a commitment, you've made an agreement with somebody else to do something for compensation. Stand behind your word. Don't be getting stoned. You don't drink on the job. Don't get stoned on the job. How this is going to affect the industry, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. But it's going to affect all the industries. And as it's starting to look like Congress and our lawmakers may just say, hey, you know what? It's time to take this out of Schedule 1. Remember, Tricky Dicky had marijuana made a Schedule 1 drug because he was pissed at John Lennon. Think about it. He did not like John Lennon. He had it Schedule 1. He had it made a Schedule 1 narcotic just to try to deny John Lennon. That is how marijuana became Schedule 1. It was a controlled substance. They made it illegal, but it was not a Schedule 1. It was like a Schedule 2 or 3. It was a lower schedule narcotic. It was just controlled. It was just illegal. My personal opinion, which, for what it's worth, a plug nickel, I don't know, man, but it should have never been illegal. It was made illegal for pecuniary reasons with William Randolph Hearst and the Dow Chemical Company with nylon rope. That's what happened to our hemp and marijuana. It was used as medicine, and now it can't be, well, now it is, but it should have never been made illegal. It was made illegal through a propaganda brainwashing campaign called Reefer Madness. I still have an original poster. Yeah, man. Let's talk some Business 101, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get to Business 101, well, this is kind of Business 101. Somebody said something, I think U.S. consultants or consultations or something like that. And I'm baffled at this, how anybody can put consultant in their title or their screen name and say this. File a lien on one of those $4 inspections and tell me how it works out for you. You steal a dime from me? Ask Five Brothers what happens. Ask Aim Your Way what happens. Ask FAS. I will lien a property. You don't get to take my money that I earn. I don't know who this U.S. consultation screen name guy, I don't know who it is. I don't really care, but that's bad advice, especially if you're going to say you're a consultant or represent consultant of some sort. If you do work on a property and you're not paid, you have the right to lien the property. I don't care if someone's living there or not. You have done work. You were commissioned to do a job. If you're not paid, lien the property. If you're at a home, if you're inspecting a house that is occupied, if you're doing an occupancy inspection, it's for the bank. It's not for Pioneer. It's for the bank. Pioneer doesn't own the property, and neither do the people living in it, because you have been sent there to do an inspection. An occupancy inspection. Why do they want to know if somebody's living there? Because they're going to foreclose on the property. It doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the bank. Lien the property. And this is why you lien the property. Whatever the judge does and fines the other company, however much money comes out of pocket, the guilty party pays for. And if you're granted a lien, guess who pays for it? Not you. They do. And I'll come collect. Take a dime. I don't care. I'll come collect. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what business owners do. File a lien on that $4 inspection and tell me how it goes is what implactors say. That's not a business owner. That's an employee of somebody. Just me. Just my humble opinion, ladies and gentlemen. Just my humble opinion. Business 101 BizCon this week, actually down there in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it's the MJ BizCon. All kinds of stuff for the next couple days down in Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking to diversify a little bit, if the marijuana industry interests you at all, they got conventions going on. They got people who do buildings, people who do lights, people who do food supplements, people who do dirt supplements. I make dirt if you know anybody needs dirt for their farm. I can help you there. I can help you there. That's what I do. But let's talk about today, because this is, cash flow is a serious issue in the property preservation industry. It always has been for people. It's a difficult dichotomy, but you have cash flow issues all the time because somebody's freezing the money on the back end of you. Let's talk about loans. Some of the elements in a loan. Why would you as a small business want a small business loan? How about for management of staff or employees' payroll needs? You have payroll needs that have suddenly expanded. You need to take care of this so you can collect down there. You know what I'm saying? You need to put labor, you need to hire manpower today. You got to pay for that manpower, but you're not getting paid for 30 days. There's a solid, and that's what something somebody like Martin Payne, a loan consultant at National Funding, would look at. Do you have viable, what are your accounts receivable and stuff like that? You can actually take a loan against accounts receivable in other industries. I won't say that about property preservation because the word is out. And oh, by the way, these funding places are getting their money from the bank who you're being told is cheating them because you sent the wrong picture. How about for advertising and marketing? Very time consuming. Very time-consuming things. But are you going the cheap route? Are you using Facebook? Are you using Twitter? Maybe G Plus? You're you're running your stuff on LinkedIn. You want to tie everything together. Maybe get a website for yourself. Marketing. Maybe do some radio time. Maybe give me $20 a month. I throw your name out there every week. I don't know, man. That's a form of advertising right there. And believe it or not, I actually do. The people I mentioned, they send me a couple bucks every month for giving them a shout out and mentioning them and telling them, telling people to get a hold of them. As long as you're a legitimate company. And I know there's been some controversy over a young lady out there. Most people in the industry call her Pinky, but I know for a fact, because I have discussed with her on numerous occasions in depth, she's not an order mill. She does sub work to subcontractors. She is a general contractor and she subs her work out all the time. And of course, I'm talking about the drop dead gorgeous Kim Savage. Women at Work Incorporated, ladies and gentlemen. Very good organization and quality. This gal is into quality work, craftsmanship, all that kind of stuff. She hires good subcontractors and, that know their job and they know what they're doing. How about you need more inventory? You want to purchase more inventory. There's another reason for a small business loan. You want to, you just got a job. Let's say this. Let's say one of your clients calls you up and says, hey, James, I have, you're going to love us. I have 150 properties I need rekeyed, and you don't have all those locks. Get on the phone, get some funding. They know you got the contract. Contracts are important. Accounts receivable, they're important. Even though there's that 30, 45 day kick in that money there that when you complete the job to when you get paid, people who do funding, they'll work with you. They'll work on that stuff with you. They'll help you out. I remember when we did the thing, because we were doing farming, we arranged a loan that was set out for 6 months before the first payment was due, because we were growing produce. You got to have a couple months to let it grow and to be able to sell. And they worked. We only got a little, it was like a $10,000 loan. It wasn't a very big loan, but it sufficed our needs at the time to push the farming thing into the direction that we wanted to go. Maybe you have a major unexpected cost. One of your employees came to work, he was smoking reefer, and he drove your truck through the wall. He drove your truck through somebody's house. Unexpected expense. That's a little extreme, I know, but you understand what I'm saying there. Unexpected expense for the inventory. The guy calls you up and says, hey, I got all these properties. I need you to do them in the next week. Unexpected expense. You don't, and inventory. So you've got two things at the same time. You never know. You never know. And let's talk about this last one here. The last one is a really tough one, because people say they're growing their business when they want to take another state on. That's expanding a business, expanding a territory. There's a huge, huge, huge difference in growing your business and expanding your business. And for whatever reason, don't ask me why, whatever reason, in the property preservation industry, this fallacy that let me take on another state is growing your business is crazy. That is not growing. That is expanding territory, taking on risk and liability is what that is. Growing your business. The easiest way to explain growing your business, we'll take the stained glass thing right behind my head here. Let's say that's what I sell, stained glass panels. That's all I sell, stained glass panels. That's it. I want to grow my business. What do? Maybe I want to sell signs. I want to get into glass panels and signs. Now I've just grown my business because I've taken on more clientele without expanding territory. And that's huge, because when you expand, when you go into another town, another state, and I'm referring strictly to property preservation at this time. When you do that, you are taking on liability and you're taking on more risk. You're getting farther away from home. I'm not saying it's not profitable. What I am saying, you're taking on risk and you're taking on liability versus carrying another product for your customers. When you carry another product, let's take property preservation because we deal in services. Okay? So let's say you're doing all the services in property preservation right now and you decide, I want to grow my business a little more. What do? Okay, we take on, let's say we get the home checkbook from NARPE International and we start doing property inspections. We start doing property condition reports. We pick up new clients. We're working the same area. We're not going anywhere. Our insurance doesn't, our auto insurance and all that doesn't expand and get bigger because we've taken on more risk and liability. Real simple. Real simple. That's the difference between growing a business. Growing a business is providing more to generate more revenue. Expanding your business is when you pick up liability risk and it starts adding up real fast, because when you expand, you take on more territory. You take on another state. And I see this all the time. And this is probably the biggest reason the property preservation industry is full of a bunch of employees that don't want to admit it. 90% of the companies that are working multiple states are not properly licensed. They get away with it because they're flying under the radar in an unregulated industry that's the wild, wild west, if you will. And guess what? They're violating the law. Not you, they are. You can get on board with them all you want, but if they're violating the law, what makes you think you're going to get paid? And I'm not saying everybody's going to cheat you that's not properly licensed. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, though, is if you get on board with somebody that's not licensed to conduct business in your jurisdiction, you're taking on liability you don't need. There's a reason why all this insurance in the industry has to have additionally assured. They want to be a certificate holder. They want this and all that. You're insuring them. I'm sorry, I'm not insuring anybody. I'm insuring me. That's who I think is important, not them. Not them at all. But when it's really a tough dichotomy when you get told, hey, you know, for example, I guess MCS, I was reading somewhere this morning, MCS got a hold of somebody and said, hey, we need you to take 2 territories. He said, I only want 1. I can only do 1. He's being honest with them. He's not lying to them. I'm only capable of handling 1. I can't handle that other one. They said no. MCS is on the chopping block anyways, folks. So, but now, had he agreed to that, that puts him in that precarious position of being dictated to, of being controlled. There's a way for you to be a business and a way for you to be an employee. In the property preservation industry, the courts have already ruled, by law, you're an employee. Why everybody wants to be boneheaded and stupid about that, I don't know. I have no clue. Maybe it's because people like John Kruger think I'm somebody else. I don't know. I really don't know. But my spy, if you will, the guy that I get to provide information to me so I can come up and do some research and do some investigating and do some commentary based on what's going on in the industry and be kind of relevant as far as time and current events. For whatever reason, everybody wants to think he's me. I'm not there. I'm not on Facebook. So when somebody has something to say to me, like John Kruger, 775-230-9915, Alliday LLC at Gmail. John, you're more than welcome to call me up, have a conversation with me. But Where you're wrong is when you want to talk out your neck about me in a forum that I'm not in, and I can't defend myself. I can't comment. I can't, you know. But that's what Facebook is about, I guess. Everybody over there wants to be keyboard warriors, huh? Anyways, growing your business and expanding. Those major unexpected costs. Purchasing inventory. Advertising, marketing, hiring new staff, paying employees, paying wages. Those are all legitimate, solid reasons. And if you need help with drafting a little business plan or something, get a hold of me, Alliday LLC at the Gmail, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I just gave my phone number out there, but if you need help, you need some assistance organizing, putting something together, putting a package together, I can assist with that. But those are reasons that, like I said, Martin Payne over at National Funding, he's a loan specialist. Those are issues, I was talking to him earlier today, those are issues that he looks at and says, hey, okay, this is legit. What's your game plan? What's your plan? And you need to be able to say, okay, I need X amount of money. And okay, I need $5,000 to buy 150 locks, and I can pay you back in 90 days. And I'll pay it back. The first payment will be $1,500, and then we'll make a payment of $2,000 and the third payment of $1,500. However you want to work it out. But if you, as the borrower, come up with a good game plan, that's 90% of the battle right there when you're looking for financing, especially for whatever, especially business financing. You need to be cognizant enough to come up with a game plan for payback. That is always what they're interested in. Are you flipping houses? Are you flipping houses? Next week's business trends is what we'll talk about in Business 101, ladies and gentlemen. But if you're flipping houses, get a hold of foreclosurepedia.org. Of course, up to the minute fraud reporting over there, foreclosurepedia.org. The guy's got something going on. There's $100 million that they can use to finance projects. If you're flipping houses, maybe you want to give them a call. Maybe you want to drop them a line, say hello there, see what's going on over there. I don't know. Now, Preservation Thursday. We're going to wrap it up here, folks. Next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, of course, GMO Tuesday, got some good stuff coming up. But we will probably, and I'm going to get, this is a question I want to put out there before I get out of here today. I want to put this question out to everybody in property preservation. I want you to ask yourself this. Why don't I, as a business, have a DUNS or a SAMS number? Why am I, as a business, submitting all my personal information, all of my employees' personal information to a company in Ireland for a background check? Why are all you people paying for money for a background check that makes you an employee when you're a business, and these companies should be using SAMS numbers and DUNS numbers to give you that work? That, ladies and gentlemen, would stop all the pardon my language, all the BS in the middle. That gets rid of companies like Pioneer Properties, LLC. Pioneer Property, let me steal your money. Let me get work out of you for free. That's what they're doing. They're getting work out of people for free when they don't pay them. And that's why I have a problem with the bid after the fact. You do the work and it's done. You can't go and do the work and you don't get paid. But you had to pay to get that work done. Whether you paid employees, materials, your time. And this is, again, before I get out of here, let me comment on this real quick. I saw something the other day about winterizations. We charge $1.25, and you better give me 200 of them at $1.25. If not, you're going to pay me $175. Period. I don't care who you are. And this is why. When you break it down, and I want you to stop and think for a minute. Even if you do the winterization by yourself, because of the format of that service, it's going to be an hour and a half at the property. If you're doing it less than that, you're cheating somehow. That, by the time you get it set up, but you get your air compressor set up, the hoses set up, you get everything set out, your antifreeze, your shrink wrap, your signs, all that kind of stuff. You got about an hour and a half in there. Why? Because you have to wait a half hour, at least when we were doing them, and we still do. When I go do a winterization for somebody, that pressure test is a 30-minute pressure test. That's time. If you got 2 people there, now you're at 3 hours of time. And when you're doing it for $40 and $50 thinking you're making money because all you did was pay for 3 gallons of antifreeze at $3 a bottle, the signs only cost you 25 cents. The tape only cost you 35 cents. The saran wrap only cost you 50 cents. And oh my God, I only got $10 in here. $40 is a good deal, but we got our time. And when you do that, ladies and gentlemen, you devalue your time. You need to ask yourself, what is my time worth? Because when I go out in the field, I don't put the key in the ignition for less than $45 an hour. Can't do it. Can't do it. Insurance, all that stuff adds up. I'm not doing it. And that's the main reason I'm not doing property preservation for nationals. I still do property preservation work for private parties. And you can do the same thing too. Ladies and gentlemen, time for me to get out of here for the day. I'll look for a couple special reports over the weekend. We got some good stuff going on again. Question. This is a question. Why is everybody paying? Because when you talk to insurance people, the first thing they'll tell you, when you tell them about this, I'm going to tell you something right now. If you got a DUNS number and a SAMS number, your insurance is going to be better than what it is now. Because you have already been vetted. And you're in a DUNS number makes you in compliance. Not in compliance for Eric Miller and company to steal from you, but in compliance with all state, local, and federal laws, ladies and gentlemen. Time for me to get out of here for the day. AllidayLLC.com. If you got a comment, there's a place to make comments down below. You can make comments down below. For everybody that tuned in, this is a live. This is the first time I've done a live podcast, if you will, straight to YouTube. So we're going to see how it goes. For those of you that tuned in, thank you very large. I appreciate it. I sincerely appreciate it. Let's have a great day, folks. Let's all be safe out there. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Wow, this is kind of trippy.